All right, you guys, we are back. My name is Eddie here at the Tint Factory, and today we're gonna be showing you guys how to install a window tint on a car by yourself. Very easy, stay tuned. Maybe you can learn a thing or two.
Is it easy because you have 10 years of experience or anybody could do it?
Well, yes, we have 10 years, so it's easier for us to do it, but it's not rocket science. Try it on your own, you're gonna mess things up. Like my dad always tells me, you're gonna learn by throwing things away. So try it, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 cars down the line, you're gonna be a pro, and now you just find yourself a new income. But like you guys know, we also have training classes for window tint or vinyl wrap. If you want to learn, you're ready to jump in the business and you want to go in and learn the right way, send me a message. What we also do, we let our students come back in after taking our class, because I know 3 days of training is not going to be enough for you to get all the information compacted. So if you want to come in and you want to come in after taking the class, you guys are welcome to. Send us a message, links down below.
All right, Eddie, what's the first step?
First step, well, here, Reyes, we cheat a little bit because we have a computer cutting system. However, what you can do is you can cut by hand. Us here, we'll come into our computer and we're gonna tell it what to cut.
Now, for someone who doesn't have a machine, is it possible to do it by hand? What's your opinion?
Absolutely, you can cut out tint by hand. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. Me personally, I jumped on computer cutting systems about 6 years ago, and I told myself I would never go back to going by hand. We do cut by hand every so often, mostly on front windshields, because it's a hit or miss if they're actually gonna be on the software. But for the most part, computer cutter is the way to go. All right, so first things first, we're gonna go in and input the car. This is a 2007 Chevy.
Also, this software has almost every car.
It has every car, Reyes. It goes down to 1925. So it has pretty much all the cars you could think of, from Lamborghinis to Hondas to Can-Ams, for those side-by-side guys out there. It has pretty much everything. No RVs, no boats, no helicopters. So if you want to get your helicopter tinted, we have to go out and do it by hand. We could do it, but it's gonna be by hand. But I know there's so many cutters out there. You go on the internet and type in window tint cutter, there's gonna be some for $200-300. Yes, you can use them. You have to mainly check to make sure that your software is compatible with your plotter. But I always say, you buy a cheap one, you're gonna be buying one every 6 months, every year. If you really wanna stick to it and buy a good one, then you go with the bigger brands. If you are questionable or you're not sure what to go with, send me a message. I could help you make sure you're buying the correct plotter. Send us a message. So this computer is very automated. All we have to do is feed in the film, lock it in place, and it does everything else for us. Most computers, the cheaper ones, you have to tell it how big it is, how long of a roll. This one button, it does it all for you. Next, we'll come over here to our plotting system. We'll click the window that we want. In this case, we're just gonna choose this front window that we're gonna be tinting and send it. And there it goes. Next, we're gonna bring in some water and spray our glass piece. Come over, grab our tint. Transfer it to our peel board. And we're gonna go in and take off all this excess tint that we don't need.
Wait, I have a quick question.
Talk to me.
So you have this?
Yes.
Is this how you would do it manually? Or no?
No. So manually, you'll go into the car, cut your film, and then you'll come into a peel board and just do your trim cut. So cleaning up the corners, lining up the bottom, whatever little trim cut you need, you'll come into a peel board. You can do it onto a glass on the car, but if you go in with the blade to the car, you're raising the risk of you scratching your client's cars. As you can see here, check this out, Reyes, listen to this. Listen to that.
Dang.
So all those scratches, I prefer them being on my peel board than on my client's car. So peel board, it will save you from replacing some windows, which we've had to do before. All right, so here we'll just grab a quarter, peel off our tint, do a cut. Now with our hand, we'll just come in and take this all off completely, just like this. Other than that, all we're gonna do is come in and trim this all out as close as we can, just like that. And as far as stability on how to hold your blade, that's just gonna come with time. But notice how I'm using my middle finger as a guide. Kind of helps me from me jumping around too much. All right, there is our template. And just like that, we have our tint. Let's go. All right, first things first, we're gonna be taping off our edges. This is not standard to every car. This is only standard to cars that have felt on the edges, just like this. This here, we can't clean it. So in order for us to install the tint, we need to tape it so we can prevent all this fuzzy hair stuff going into your film. So let's get it. Let's go ahead and tape this up. And so you know, the tape that we use is called Tyvek tape. You could use any, I think this is like construction tape for like waterproofing. So you could use any of them. I know Lowe's has their own brand, Home Depot has their own brand. So there's really not right or wrong. Just use something that's kind of glossy so that it allows your tint to jump inside. We used to use blue painter's tape. And since it was dry finish, we would kind of fight with the tint a little bit to get it inside. All right, just like that. Going with my hand and make sure it's nice and tight on there. One extra piece on by the hair, and we are all set. All right, well, there's our tape. Next, we're gonna put our window all the way up. So go ahead and clean this off. First things first, let's get the outside prepared. We're gonna go ahead and spray this down. Second, we're gonna go ahead and squeegee all of this off. Next, we're gonna go ahead, spray it one more time, and go in with our scuff pad and scuff the glass. Make sure we're taking everything off.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
If we're installing the tint on the inside, why do we gotta clean the outside?
Well, because we're gonna shrink it right now. And in order for us to shrink it, we have to place it on the outside. And I don't want any of this dust to get stuck onto the tint. To prevent that from happening, just go ahead and spend some time on the outside and getting it prepped. All right, after that, we're just gonna wipe up the surrounding area. So next, we're gonna go ahead and prep through the inside. Usually you wouldn't be dealing with a door like this, but since we're wrapping it, we have to deal with it.
So you're wrapping and tinting it?
Yeah, this one here, where you're wrapping it, we're tinting it. We're gonna, have we painted the calipers? No, we're not painting the calipers on this one, but we are polishing the roof as well. So 3 services, oh, and we have to clean out the engine. 4. Next, we're gonna leave the window cracked a bit, and we're gonna go in and prepare the inside for our tint. We're gonna start off with razor blading the window, and always use a brand new razor blade. One issue, or one mistake that we did here once, was I had one of my guys try to be cheap and use the dull razor blade, goes into a brand new 2022 truck, scratched the window, had to replace it. So, brand new blade. Trust me, for how much you pay for these blades, you should be not worried about replacing blades instead of replacing the window. So, I'm gonna go ahead and razor blade our whole glass. Next, we're gonna go ahead and spray one more time so we can squeegee it off. Squeegee one. Next, we're gonna grab our towel and we're gonna wipe off the bead from the top. This is one step that I would forget and skip a lot. If you really think about it, there's a lot of dirt on the top. So you spray your tint, you cleaned it up, but then all that dirt is just gonna drip it back down onto your tint. All right, we're gonna spray again one more time. Get our scuff pad, scuff the whole window.
So this is something you really gotta pay attention to.
Yeah.
To the detail.
Yeah, you really need to make sure you're cleaning it off really good. I always say 90% prep, 10% install. And we take that very serious. That's actually something that I continuously repeat while I'm teaching. And notice I keep wiping it and putting it on my pants or whatever, trying to take off all the water that's on here. All right, starting from the top, it's like painting a house. You roll one, the other one should go over halfway. So you're making sure you're not leaving any streaks behind. All right, go ahead and hit the sides as well. Hit the opposite side. And now, this door here is ready for install. Now, let's get our film prepared.
Hey, that was a quick, what, 7-10 minutes?
Maybe.
Not even?
Maybe.
So it goes by quick.
It does. And we're taking longer because we're talking. You know, realistically, if we were off camera, this window, maybe 5 minutes from prep to install, finish time. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and prepare our shape for shrinking. We're gonna do that by putting this into an N shape. So N being this over and down, then everything in between the N goes straight down. This here is gonna give us, we have the shape, but now we want the curvature of our glass. This here is gonna give us the curvature. Usually you'd have fingers down here. On this one, none popped up. But even though none popped up, I still prefer going in with my heat gun now and trying to see if I could forcefully pull some up.
Fingers, the shrivels, right? The when it cramps.
Yeah, so fingers are pretty much like, how can I say it? Fingers are pretty much going to be what indicates you that your window has a little bit of curvature. Not a big deal. All you have to go in with a heating element, heat gun or torch, and heat them up, press them down, and they go away. All right, so like I said, even though there was no fingers on this, I'm still gonna pass my heat gun just in case. Let's see. I usually pass it. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes they don't. Yep, this one had none. So that's it. That's our shrinking process. Now, there is two different ways to do your installation. There's a two-step method, or there's bottom feeding. This one, I'm gonna bottom feed it just because I already have the panel off. Makes it a lot easier for us to just slide it in, squeegee it all down, and we're done. So, making sure my window is cracked. It is, but I want it a little bit lower than that. I'm gonna raise this up so it doesn't crinkle on the bottom when I put my window down. All right, so now we are in position. We're gonna spray this down so any contamination that's on the door sticks to the door. Sometimes I even spray the air, so anything that's floating in the air, it just drops. All right, next we're gonna go in, grab our liner, which is the clear protecting sheet that's protecting your film. We're gonna peel off our liner completely. Spray, spray, spray. Grab your tint. Ooh. Bring it around 10. Ah, got stuck. All right. Come in with your tint and try to tack it as best as you can without touching anything surrounding it. Get into position. Now we're just checking lineage on the top, making sure everything lines up okay. Right about there. Next, we spray our tint. Then we go in with our rubber squeegee. We're just gonna squeegee it all the way across. Mainly, we're just trying to squeegee off the top, just so that we have enough so that we could roll up our window. Squeegee the top. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just squeegee everything down. We already sprayed the glass. Now we're gonna go in with our squeegee and squeegee everything straight down, just like this. Just like that. You're all done. Triangle on the edges. Boom, boom. You're all set.
No way.
That's it. Move on to the next one. That's it.
What?
That's it.
Wait, how long do you have to let it sit for it to really stick?
Fully dry?
Like, for example, right now, can I mess it up? Let's say I roll down the window or I peel it. Is that possible?
You can mess it up. However, since we took off the panel, what's on the bottom here, we could just seal it. Go in with the heat gun and seal it and really dry up that bottom so that it doesn't mess up on you. It can. Full cure time is about 1 week. Like we always tell the client 1 week full cure time. Roll down is 24 hours. So realistically, this guy here, he could be rolling down by tomorrow. We could put on the panel, everything's fine. Just make sure he doesn't roll it down. All right, well, there you go, guys. That's a way for you to tint your side window by yourself. Very easy if you got the knowledge, if you have the steps. But if you don't and you want to learn, send us a message. We have a class where we could train you how to tint, how to wrap. You know, you could get to work on some of these bad cars too. Let's get you trained in Oakland, California. Been here for 10 years doing this, vinyl wrapping window tint. So we have the knowledge and expertise that we need to teach you and guide you in the proper ways.